Okay, so just a little bit of history. I know everybody in the room is pretty familiar with Epson's history in the P&T space. We started in 1999 with the Stylus Pro models, and that has moved forward for in the photo space for over 20 years that we've had this technology in the P series. A lot of you are very familiar with the P, some familiar with the T, but the P has a history of 20 years in this space. And basically 10 years ago, we decided to take that core technology and break that out and start producing printers to address the needs of the technical printing space. So in 2010, we actually introduced our first 3 models in the technical T-series space, and that's been going ever since. So fast forward to 2018 and 2020, we now have a over 20 plus year history with the Photo series products and over a 10 plus year history with the T-series products. So it's been a long time, and we've had a couple chances over the years to introduce some brand new platforms, but now's the chance for both of those series, but now's the chance to do that for both. So we'll explain kind of how that breaks out, but 20-year history with P, 10-year history over with T. Where do we go from here? That's kind of what we're here to talk about today. Okay, next slide.
All right, so where does this new product fit into the P-Series line? Many of you are very aware that P-Series is for photo, P-Series is for proofing, and we're very well established in wide gamut proofing space and large format professional photography, fine art photography. We have a 10-color machine, a 12-color machine, and we're very well established in that space. So where does this new product fit? Well, this new product fits in a whole new production class photo. It's a 6-color machine, and as you'll see, it's got a completely, totally different revolutionary design, and it's small, it's compact, and it's really designed for that consumer photo, that everyday type photo output. Images of your last vacation or your last get-together, or just your favorite photos. You go from an application, like an app, straight to a fulfillment house that's printing and then delivering your image the next day. Or the modern mini photo lab. So this new printer, which is 6 colors, is going to fit really well into that general photography type space. Next slide.
Are you clicking?
There we go. Okay, some clicker problems. So for the T-Series version of this product, this is actually going to fit in the production CAD and graphics space. So we already have entry-level products, as you know, the 2130-170s up to the mid-range products that work in a lot of office work groups. But then this new line of printers is going to be in production CAD and graphics. And that's really due to the speed and capabilities that we've built into it. So we have a lot of media options that are going to work with it, very fast throughput, large ink cartridge sizes, et cetera. So this is where that's going to lie. So at some point, eventually, this is actually going to replace the current T3270, 5270, 7270 product. So new platform, new features, new upgrades to address kind of today's needs in the technical space. So this product line is going to take the place of that product line. It will be a pretty smooth transition that's going to happen over the course of the fall and into the beginning of next year, but this platform is going to be upgraded. As Mark mentioned in the P series, none of the P series products are going away. This new platform is coming in addition to all the current products that are inside the P series line. Okay, next slide. So what customers are addressed by this new platform? Architects, engineers, and construction are definitely going to be the main users of this printer. And we've got drawings, renderings, very fast speeds. So if you have a customer that's printing multiple plans of sets in a day or in a week or something like that, and they need that speed to do multiple jobs and get them through quickly, this is the kind of customer who could benefit from something like the printer we're going to be sharing today. Also, with those kind of print speeds, reprographics houses could utilize something like this as well to do print for pay. So, we're getting into that kind of throughput where it makes sense for a repro house possibly to have this in their fold or their fleet of printers to service those customers. Also, too, since it has matte and photo black inks, we can produce point of purchase materials, posters, graphics, some things for retail and hospitality. So posters for hotels, for example, as well as education and corporate graphics. So there's a lot of versatility in the T-Series product and a lot of different places where this can go. So we'll dig into a little more of that as we go through the presentation.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about some of the P-Series applications. Next slide. So the P-Series application, so think volume photo fulfillment. Like I was talking about before, many of us, we go from an application, an app, or a website, and then we want to get a canvas print made, or we want to get an enlargement made for our living room. And that general type photography is usually done business to business, right? It's done by some print fulfillment house that will take that file, print it, ship it usually next day or the next couple of days, and you get it in the mail. And those businesses are behind the scenes. They're really big volume photo fulfillment type houses, and they may have a whole host of different technology. Well, this product will fit really well with that type of environment because it's 6-color, because it's fast, and as you'll see, it's very versatile with dual role capability. We're going to be able to set it up in an island style type situation. It's perfect for this type of volume photo fulfillment. But it's also really great for the new modern mini photo lab. Convenience stores, drugstores, they're turning into photo lab. They have a photo lab component to it. You walk in, you have an image on a flash drive or a memory card, and you need to make an enlargement, or you need to make several prints, maybe canvas or some fine art material. That type of mini photo lab where space is important. So being able to put this printer in a very compact space and have flexibility in getting files to the machine is going to be perfect for this application. And then we have, let's say, production poster. Let's say decor art. There are a lot of websites that are selling decor art for the end user to purchase and hang in their home. This is a perfect machine for that because you're not going to sacrifice quality. Yes, it's going to have 6 colors, but it's perfect for that production poster type market. And then finally, our existing print service providers who may have a whole host of different PNT machines and other series with Epson. So this machine will fit in nicely when the end user doesn't need a 10-color or 12-color machine, right? With our P7570 and our P9570 or our P20000. Like Jacob said, we are not getting rid of we're not discontinuing the P6000 or the P8000, our 8-color entry-level machine. But what we're doing is we're kicking it up a notch by having it production speed worthy. So this is where that product's going to fit in really nicely. Next slide. All right, so let's talk about the print head. So what's super exciting on the T-Series side is that the T-Series is going to evolve from their previous generation print head to an all-new 2.64-inch micro TFP print head. And this is what's going to make the machine extremely fast. And this is first on the T-Series side. On the P-Series side, we have that with the P7570 and the 9570 and the P20000, but for the T-Series, it's quite an evolution from this print head to this print head. And of course, the print head is going to be designed to last the life of the printer. It incorporates nozzle verification technology, where we use waveform to send tiny little electrical impulses through the nozzle and then detects whether or not that nozzle is clogged or not without using any ink, so that if there is a clogged nozzle, the next available interval, you can the printer will automatically do a print head cleaning. So that's going to be part of this 2.64-inch print head. And it's commercial grade, it's designed to last the life of the printer. And we're really excited that it's going to be part of the T-Series family, and really excited that it's going to be part of P-Series photo production, because the P6000 and the P8000 has our previous generation 1-inch print head. So our precision core technology is going to be built into this new platform. Next slide. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about ink on the P-Series. So actually what you see behind you is the P8570D. And you'll be able to tell a P-Series because it has a gray back, or it's colored gray in the back. And it's utilizing Ultrachrome Pro 6. Now, Ultrachrome Pro 6 is still our aqueous-based pigment ink. It's the same ink that's in our P7570 and 9570 and our P20000, but it's 6 colors. Now, we have gray. And that gray is going to act as a mix with CMY to give us very, very smooth transitions. So if you're familiar with our printhead technology, you know that we have variable droplet technology, and we can print as small as 3.5 picoliters. Well, that very small droplet at variable sizes is going to mix with CMY to give you very smooth transitions, which is perfect for photo. You know, for printing out photo, we want smooth transitions, which is why we originally started with light cyan and light magenta. Now, it's really not designed for black and white. I mean, you can print black and white, but it's only going to be K2. We have other machines like our P6000, P8000, and everything else in the line, which is K3 for advanced black and white. So it's really, you can print grayscale, but it's really not going to give you the same tonality as the rest of the line. And we're also introducing something really, really interesting for the photo production market, a 1.6 liter ink pack. So we'll talk about all the details of that model, but next calendar year, we're going to be introducing a model that's going to include a 1.6 liter ink pack, and it's going to go right into the printer. It's not going to snake off or anything like that, which is really key, less touch points, less ink changing for those extreme photo production environments where, you know, they want the machine completely loaded with ink. We're not changing any of the ink configurations. It's still 110, 350, and 700 milliliter options with the whole entire line on both the P and the T series, but the T series ink will be slightly different. So let's go to the next slide and Jacob will explain.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. So the T series ink set is also a 6-color ink set. We're calling this Ultra Chrome XD3 ink. Our previous generation was XD, and then it went to XD2 and XD3. And the difference between our old generation and this ink set is that we're going from a 5-color ink set to a 6-color ink set. So this is going to have CMYK, both flavors of black, matte, and photo, but also a new red ink. And the red ink is going to be beneficial for 2 reasons. One, it's going to help out with GIS mapping to give a little more color balance in those prints. But 2, it also is going to help with poster printing. So if you have somebody who's doing production posters or POP and things like that, there's a lot of red in those brand colors. So the red that we have in this helps make the reds very, very brilliant, very saturated, and is really going to help out not just with the mapping side, but also the production poster side here as well. So
just to give you an idea of how red the red is, this is a test output that we've been working with. It's a very, very luminant red for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So we're very excited for everybody to take a look or you know, get the print samples and start seeing some prints coming out of this printer, and it really does make a difference. So all the testing that we've seen really great results with having this red ink built into it. So we'll have 110, 350, 700 milliliter cartridges, but also, like Mark mentioned, on the T series side, we'll have a 1.6 liter version of the printer available as well for people who are doing production CAD and production poster kind of printing. So kind of a same scenario there as well. Okay.
Yeah, I'll talk about the Adobe Embedded Print Engine. So also a big change and something that's a very exciting introduction to this whole new line is that we are including, with most of the models, there are going to be some exceptions, an Adobe Embedded Print Engine. It's basically an embedded RIP that's going to go right into the printer. And the Adobe Embedded Print Engine is the latest from Adobe. And it is completely Adobe-centric and very, very fast. There's multiple processors right onto the printer itself. And you're going to be able to send PDFs natively. So if there's complicated graphics within the PDF, like a lot of modern PDFs are, with transparency levels and gradations and all sorts of amazing content from the latest version of Adobe Illustrator, we're going to be able to print those files natively. And you're going to be able to do so without a computer. So that file is going to be able to go right onto a flash drive. You're going to be able to plug it right into the printer and print without a computer to process it. And so it's very fast, it's very user-friendly, and it's going to be built right into the printer. So we're really excited to share with you this new development. And on the P series side, it's going to be included as well, and it's actually going to be beneficial for a photographic workflow because we'll be able to utilize TIFFs and JPEGs and have a color managed workflow and be able to share folders and have like network folders where you're able to drop a bunch of images right onto the folder. It's going to be very fast and very productive. Next slide.
Yeah, great points on that. And before we move on to, for the technical side of things, this Adobe Embedded Print Engine, it's really going to allow us to utilize PDFs. So, for technical professionals, typically we've had HDI drivers in the past, and we've had specific CAD languages and stuff like that. Most everybody, they are using PDF files now. So that's why we wanted to integrate it in some of these products to give a true PDF workflow. So like Mark mentioned, somebody could send a PDF off of their phone, off of a flash drive, directly from the computer, et cetera, et cetera. The truth is that in AEC, most people are using PDFs now. So this is going to allow us to really tap into that. And if you got a PDF, you can print a PDF. So, a lot of good features, but quite simplistically for the technical market, we wanted people to be able to print their PDFs because that's where the workflow is at right now. So let's take a look at the printer. Basically, this is a brand new design, brand new platform. And we're going to jump on another camera here and show you in a second what this printer is all about. But basically, this is up to 25% smaller than our previous generation printers. And that's both on the P series side and the T series side. So the ability to bring in a brand new platform and design it from the inside also allowed us to design it brand new from the outside. So let's go ahead and switch over and take a look at this new platform and this new printer. So you can kind of see that the height on this is actually very, very shallow. The depth on it is only about 19.8 inches deep. So this is a platform where you could take this printer and you could push it up all the way against the wall and you can print with it that way. Or you can set these up in an island if you wanted to have two printers back to back and save space that way. You could do that as well. Also, you're probably noticing that it's not on a stand. It's a single piece design. And basically this just unrolls off of the pallet or lifts off of the pallet, plugs in, and you can basically be up and printing and ready to go in about 30 minutes. So this all composite design makes it very, very easy to ship, bring it off the pallet and install it and get up and printing very, very quickly. Also too, I think you're noticing right on top of here, this flat surface. This actually allows you to use this as a workspace. So if you're printing something off of the front and you want to take it and take a look at it, you could put it up here. You could put your laptop up here, do the prints right from there, etc. So there's a lot of cool features that come with this brand new design. So it's on casters, it can be rolled around, but basically this is a brand new platform, brand new sleek design that's kind of going to revolutionize what a production printer can and does look like. So very excited about that. We've heard from a couple customers already that they're looking forward to this, to put this into places where they might not have space to put a 44-inch printer or a 36 or a 24-inch printer, but both inside and out, you can totally see that this is a brand new platform and we've really designed it to be compact and sleek as possible. Yep. Okay, so let's go ahead and flip back over to the slides and keep talking about the features. Okay. So, with this new design, we were able to incorporate a couple brand new features. So just very quickly, let's glance over a couple of those. So number one, we do have Wi-Fi built in. Previous generation, at least at the T series, we do not have Wi-Fi, so that's in. USB, gigabit Ethernet connectivity. There's a 4.3-inch touch panel. It's going to make operating this very, very easy. You saw from the Steadicam view that we had that everything is on the front of the printer. Mm-hmm. So when you have a production user or somebody who's going to be taking rolls in and out or putting sheets in and out of this printer a lot, it's going to be nice to be able to operate pretty much everything right from the front. So that was designed on purpose because we know that somebody might be interacting with the printer quite frequently in those production or high-speed kind of environments. We have a lot of security features that are now built into this. And also you'll notice that there's a dual roll on this 44-inch model. So we'll kind of talk about the ins and outs of that here in a minute, but most of the models in the line are going to have dual roll built in for that kind of productivity that comes along with this platform. Okay, for T series, just so we know, we've got a lot of different flavors of product. We will have single roll and dual roll versions and versions with the Adobe print engine built into it. So we'll have 24, we'll have a 36, and we'll have a 44-inch wide, two versions of 44-inch in the 44-inch class.
On the P-Series side, we're going to have 24-inch wide models as well as 44. We're not going to have 36. On the 24, we're going to have a single roll and a dual roll, as well as a dual roll with the Adobe embedded print engine. On the 44-inch side, we're going to have our dual roll with the Adobe embedded print engine, as well as the 1.6-liter ink pack system. First, we're going to introduce the 44-inch dual roll, and then next year, we're going to start shipping the rest of the models. I want to talk a little bit about speed. So now, first of all, we're still, all of these specs that you see are subject to change. We're still constantly doing testing. We're just doing some testing this morning. We're getting new firmware all the time from Japan. So everything that you see could possibly change, but we know for sure that this printer is going to be fast no matter what, because of the 2.64-inch print head. Now, just comparing against the P6000 and the P8000, our entry-level photo machine, essentially, we're going to be 2.2 times faster with max quality. If someone's running max quality, which I know is important in the photographic space, then you're still going to be 2.2 times faster than the P8000 on the 44-inch side. And you're going to be 3 times as fast with quality mode, which is a 6-pass mode. So very, very fast. And it has everything to do with the fact that we're running with the 2.64-inch micro TFP printhead versus our previous 1-inch printhead. Next slide.
And on the T-Series version, a couple of specs up here to report. To testing as of today is showing that we can reach breakthrough production class speeds over 1,400 square feet per hour. So that's on the CAD side on plain paper. Obviously, we're blazing through some sets of paper when we go through that speed. So plain paper, single pass, over 1,400 square feet per hour. So that really comes out to be, for the A1D size, about 16 seconds. For one A1D size print, or 3.7 A1D size per minute. So that kind of gives you an idea of what class and what kind of printers are out there that are printing at these kind of speeds. But basically that's about up to 2.2 times faster than our previous generation. So it's very, very fast.
Look at this thing, man. It's incredibly fast.
Yeah. So we're just taking a look at a print that's coming out right now. And this is a full 44-inch wide paper that's coming through. We're just printing a CAD drawing on plain paper, but you can see that the print speed on it is very, very quick. I don't know if we can show it. Yeah, exactly. You could show it on the other camera right here.
One of the things we added is an integrated catch basket that goes right into the printer for those one-off prints. And it's built right into the printer. You basically just push it right in. It kind of retracts right into the printer, and you pull it out as an as-needed basis.
Yeah, that catch basket, it's kind of neat because typically the catch basket would take up extra room even when you don't need it. With this, and being able to retract it into the printer, you can keep that same small profile, but then you can just pull this catch basket up and then you could use that whenever you need it. So small footprint, small frame, and then that catch basket comes out only when you need it. So very, very cool design. And we think that's going to be helpful to save a little space until somebody needs to pull that out and use it basically. So yeah. Okay. Great. So very fast print speeds on the CAD side. We also can deliver on the photo side over speeds over 300 square feet per hour as of today's testing. So that's looking very good as well. A lot faster than the previous T-Series for those who are doing production photo and production poster and POP kind of work. But basically, fast and class print speeds on the 44-inch version that we have right here.
Jacob, let's just talk real quickly about what's going on. So I actually just sent a job to print, and it's actually switching from roll 1 to roll 2. And it does so in an automatic way. So if the user is printing on plain paper and they're doing a CAD drawing and then they want to print a poster on a photo-based paper, all you have to do is say print, and you can either tell it which roll or you can tell it the media, and it'll automatically know which roll it needs to print to, and it switches. There's no touching whatsoever. So it'll go from the roll 1 to roll 2 without any user intervention, which I think is really great in a production environment. It's less touch points, you're more efficient. You can have your 2 most used medias loaded, or it can be the same media because you print a lot of one media. So the ability to go from one roll to the other and print and start printing, absolutely no problem. And I also sent it, it's a photo job, and I sent it to print borderless. And one of the things that Jacob has behind you, he'll show you, is it's a borderless maintenance tank. And it's going to do a double cut. So it's going to cut in the beginning, and then it will print, and then it will cut at the very end. And this borderless maintenance tank is something that is a consumable, because with our previous generation printers, when you printed borderless, the ink from overspray would collect on the platen in a sponge. And you'd have to have once those sponges filled up with ink and started leaving marks on the prints, you'd have to have someone from the service come in and switch out those sponges. And then you have downtime and you've got to schedule that. And that's, it takes time out of production. Whereas having a borderless maintenance tank, you don't have to do that. They're basically underneath this here. You lift this up and you can pull out those borderless maintenance tanks. And yeah, so it's doing that first cut. And now it's going to print borderless.
Yeah,
I'll
so
go from there.
So while it's printing, another thing to mention is that when you load rolls into the printer, you no longer have to feed the edge into the printer for it to take it up. Basically, you drop the roll in, the printer automatically recognizes that there's a roll that's just been freshly loaded. It'll find the edge automatically and it'll suck it up into the printer without you having to do the feeding. So that's pretty awesome. I mean, you can just go from roll to roll, change things out, drop it in, and the printer's basically going to do the rest for you. So that's an awesome feature. And I think, operators and the people who are using this printer frequently are going to appreciate that drop and go kind of system that we have on this. Yep.
It's great. Let's go back to the slides as it's printing.
Okay. So automatic roll loading, we talked about that. Let's talk about rigid poster board here for a second. On this printer, we can print up to 1.5 millimeter rigid poster board. And we found out that that's really a time saver and something we had on our previous generation printers that's able to be done on this platform as well. But basically, we have this rigid poster board that's an enhanced mat, and you can print this directly into the printer and print right on the surface, pull it out, and it's instant dry and it's ready to go. So up to 1.5 millimeters thick, and this really saves you from having to take a printout and mount it on a piece of rigid backing, and a lot of that, finishing time and production time that comes along with this stuff. So, whether it's a CAD office that wants to print out, hard renderings to show to a client, or if you have somebody that's using this in a retail or hotel kind of space, something like that, it's really nice to be able to print out that rigid poster board and really save that time of mounting things up as you're printing. So very cool feature. You can load it from the front on the back, but these will be able to do this style of printing on all the printers that are coming out in this platform. So Mark had mentioned the border-free printing capability and all the different sizes that are involved with that. So, basically we have a lot of finishing options and a lot of things to help people as they're going through and loading paper and media in and out of this printer. Also, the dual roll, we mentioned about that, but we've included one more feature on this we think is pretty unique and is going to be helpful for those who are doing roll-to-roll printing. So on all of these printers, if it has a dual roll capability, the single roll on the top could be used as a take-up reel. So we built the controls for automatic take-up right into the printer. And if you want to use roll one for a take-up and do true roll-to-roll printing, you can do that. Mm-hmm. So you set everything up. You can print side in or print side out. You can adjust the tension. But basically, you have a take-up reel built in and integrated into these printers if they have the dual roll capability. So also a very nice feature for those that want to print, maybe finish or cut later on. Yeah. But since we had the opportunity to design this platform, which kind of included one more feature like that to take advantage of the two rolls that are on there.
I'll talk a little bit about media. So on the P-Series side, it's going to work with all of the media that you're used to, right? Our legacy, our signature worthy, all of our Epson genuine media. So there's no sacrifice for this printer. Yes, it's going to have 6 colors, but that doesn't diminish any of the quality. The quality is going to be the Epson quality that you're used to. And you're going to be able to use all of the different medias that you're used to using, especially all the matte-based medias, because there's no switching between photo and matte black. you know, it's a photo black, a matte black, CMY, and gray. So both P and T is going to be able to print on matte media. So on the P series side, you're not going to sacrifice any of the fine art media that you're used to. And you know, the ink is just as image permanent as the rest of our Ultrachrome Pro. We're in the middle of you know, testing and getting some feedback from Wilhelm Research, but it's essentially the same ink. And it's something that we are going to be able to offer in terms of print permanence. You're going to have the same print permanence. It just has 6 colors basically. And on the T series side, there's some additional specialty media that are key for applications in the AEC and architecture space, right, Jacob?
Yeah, absolutely. So we can print on different matte medias, plain paper, bond, mylar, vellum, tracing paper, all these different types of media. So as well as on the poster side, canvas or, you know, glossy paper, et cetera, a lot of flexibility that goes through these. So these printers in the T series on both the CAD and the graphics side. So very versatile, very flexible. Next slide.
All right, I'll talk a little bit about advanced media handling. So of course we have our media length tracking. So right on the print itself, the barcode will be printed. You can kind of see the little barcode there, and it will actually ID the media when you put it back into the printer. So the printer will know what media it is, because you know, sometimes unless you write on the media, it's kind of hard to tell what the media is. And then we've also added a 20-inch wide borderless. That's the new borderless size by popular demand by listening to our end users. There's going to be, of course, a built-in rotary cutter. That's a consumable, so you can switch that out when you need to. But we've also extended the max diameter of roll width so that if those bigger production rolls, we're going to go up to 6.7 inches in diameter. So if the production house is getting their media custom coated, or they have a specialty relationship with a media manufacturer, that 6.7-inch diameter is going to be much larger than the rest of our line.
Yeah, and that's really good for the T-series and the technical space as well. So we know there's a lot of customers who are out there that are printing on 6.5, 6.7, basically these 500-foot rolls of bond that they want to be able to utilize in the printer. So if they're doing that kind of thing in bulk and printing out a lot of different sets, then we've got that expansion on here that'll accept those rolls up to 6.7. Yep. Okay. We talked about the print basket already. So this is exciting. And for production users, we know that they want to have the ability to stack in many cases. So for the 44-inch, 36, 24, we will have a version of this stacker available for all 3 sizes of those printers. Like we're just showing right here, it clips right into the front, so it doesn't actually have to be wired or tethered into the printer, which is nice because you can keep it stored or roll it up to the printer and use it whenever you want, which is awesome. And the spec on this one right now is that we can handle, or we can print up to 2 full rolls of paper, which is a plain paper, or 2.3 inches in a stack, whichever comes first, 72 sheets of glossy. So a lot of paper that can come through and stack through here. Poster sizes, I think anything up to about a B0 size we can use this with, and have full stacking capabilities coming out of this printer. So I think that's a breath of fresh air for a lot of your customers who are doing some pretty high volumes and want the ability just to grab these stacks and take them and ship them and process them after they're done. So
yeah, I like that it's 2.3 inch. The thing to remember for the spec on the photo side is that it's up to 2.3 inches thick worth of stacked media. So because of course, if you're printing on hot press or legacy platine, or if you're printing on fiber, then of course each one of those have different thicknesses. So just remember the 2.3 inch thick is the spec. But very easy to use, very easy to configure. It has multiple
settings on there, multiple widths, etc. Yep. And then like you said, when you're done with it, you can just take it and roll it away, and you're back to the catch basket or back to the space where you need with having this printer in the space. So yeah, very good stuff. Very excited to have that stacker. And once again, we'll have versions of that for a 24, a 36, and a 44-inch width. So that'll be 3 different SKUs for the production stacker. The P series will have a 24-inch and a 44-inch stacker available for those products. We're also excited to have an accessory that's a 960 gigabyte solid state memory drive. So typically in the past, we've had up to 320 capacity of gigabytes with our hard drives, our optional hard drives in both the P and the T series. We've taken the opportunity to step into solid state, which is a good thing, but also to up the capacity. So it's 960 total, but with the files that are being on there in the operating system, this will net out to about 780 gigabytes of storage space. So a lot of folks out in the industry have 500. We've had 320. But basically, we have a lot of space. It's an encrypted solid state memory drive. So we've got a security layer that's on there. And then when folders or files go on there, you can securely encrypt those. You can set up a file structure so each user can have a file on the particular printer, et cetera. So it's going to be really nice to have that option for people who are doing a lot of repeat printing or want to free up their network from those huge files that they're probably tossing back and forth between their computer and the printer all the time.
720 gigs is a lot of space.
Yeah, it's a lot of space. So excited about that one as well. I think our engineers did that one right when we were thinking about what to put for this accessory. So good stuff. Okay. And speaking of security, we've added over 28 IT security features, a lot of standards, some encrypted SSD that we talked about, some password protection. Also, there's an NFC reader, USB on the top of the printer. So if you want to add an NFC reader and basically be able to do pin release or release jobs with your badge or a pin, you can do that on these printers here as well. So very cool, because we know that a lot of this technology is actually going into these office environments that might already have a business inkjet printer set up or a network of copiers, for example, that's on there that already has, like some pin release and some of those features inside of that network. So for those environments this printer might be going into, we have those IT security features and also some of that NFC stuff and some LDAP compatibility for those printers to drop into those networks and play along nicely with what's already been set up. So that's definitely a positive thing for this new platform. Okay.
So also, this platform will connect to our Epson Cloud Solution port. If you're not familiar with it, you can go to port.epson.com and log into it. And it's going to be a fleet monitoring service for your whole entire fleet. So you're going to be able to track KPIs from across the network, from different locations, be able to see how much square footage you ran that day, what state the printer is in. You can actually do some reporting, and it's going to be included at no additional charge to the whole entire platform. And actually, it's going to support some of our older printers as well. So it's our new fleet management called Epson Cloud Solution Port. Next slide.
Yeah, and also too, we've got a lot of compatibility with both, office management companies such as like Printerpoint and PaperCut to manage those kind of environments within the office about user access and reporting on usage within the office and kind of corporate and enterprise environments. And also too, your familiar RIP software is going to be supported with these printers for most of the big names as well. So I'm sure you're familiar with all the logos that we have up there, the Onyx, the Calderas, the EFIs of the world, et cetera. They are all out there right now testing it, and they are developing for this printer currently. So we'll have support from those third-party RIPs, top to bottom on this new platform as well. So that's a good thing. And like we said, customizable operation. The 4.3-inch touchscreen is going to make things very, very easy to use, as well as USB drive right in the front to drop files right on the printer. High-speed file transfer, gigabit Ethernet, 2.45 gigahertz wireless. So we're right on point with those kind of features. Simplified maintenance. So if you look to the printer, there's a door in the front and a door in the back where you can get in there with a swab and you can clean around the print head and the capping station. So users can get in there rather than a tech having to come out and do something like that to do some very simple maintenance tasks. Users can actually do those on their own, so they can kind of clean things up and keep on moving as they're printing. So
it's not a user replaceable head. So I already see that there's a question there. So this is not a user replaceable head. The print head is designed to last the life of the printer, but users will be able to maintain around the print head. Because especially if you're printing on a lot of fibrous papers and there may be some debris that gets into the printer in that respect, by being able to clean around the capping station and around the print head itself, it's going to be a convenient thing for the user to do. But no, it's not a user replaceable print head. The print head is designed to last the life of the printer. But as you can see, this new design, one of the things I think that's really exciting is that we're protecting the print head area. So there's less dust to fall into the print zone. We're able to use nozzle verification technology so that we can predict when there's a clogged nozzle. So I think we'll, so far so good. It's the design is really keeping any particulates away from the print zone, which is allowing the print head to continue print with all nozzles open.
And we have a host of Epson owned software as well. Our typical and standard drivers, Epson Cloud Solution Port. We have Epson Media Installer to be able to install custom media profiles into the system. So basically, we have a full suite of Epson software that's going to work with this, as we do with all of our other products here also. And then our warranty programs, this printer and both platforms will have a standard 1-year warranty on it. It's a limited warranty, but it's usually next business day service. So if somebody has an issue, they can call Epson. We'll try to talk them through it. If it can't be talked through, then basically, usually next business day, we can have somebody out there with parts to fix the issue. So of course, the idea is to keep production users and end users up and running. So our techs our phone techs are actually right here in California. The service is Monday through Friday on the telephone and typically very responsive. So that's encompassed in the 1-year warranty that we have on these products here. So,
just like with the rest of the line, it's a stackable up to 5 years. So if you're going to get an additional 3 years, you would just use the one part number and then multiply it times 3. So you can have a coverage for a total of 4 years. So if you're not familiar with that, we made a change in the middle of last year to go with a stackable warranty type system. And it's no different with this new platform.
Yep.
Just thought I'd add that in.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's sum everything up. I think we're kind of at the bottom of the hour here, but basically we have this brand new platform. We're into the production class speed arena at this point. Brand new design, very compact, but breakthrough production class speeds for both photo production, for graphics, and for CAD. Brand new ink set. Ultra Chrome Pro 6 or XD3, depending on if it's a P or T. The Pro has P, has the gray in it. The red has the brand color red in it. Very compact design, lots of flexible media options. Adobe embedded print engine with those 4 CPUs and all that processing power will be becoming standard on most of these products. Very easy to operate, easy to take off the pallet, plug in and get going. It's about as little as 30 minutes. IT security features on board, connectivity options such as Wi-Fi, and the ability to connect to these third-party software and services like our own Epson Cloud Solution Port, and also the various RIPs and the various software management platforms that are out there right now. So lots of different things. I mean, we really just, looking at a brand new platform and a clean slate of being able to design this product, brand new from top to bottom. We wanted to add the most kind of sleek design, but also usability features that are really, really important to those production users, as well as the speed that they're looking for. So,
the design is, I think, one of my favorite parts of the whole entire platform, especially since, in the past, we've gone from a top to down, right? The roll is loaded at top, and then it goes basically, down. Whereas this is completely the other way around, right? We're loading from the bottom, and then we're going up in this new innovative approach. So really exciting. And so far in our testing, things have been going really well, and we're really excited to start to ship the product later on this year.
Yeah, absolutely. So in our announcement, we did include the MSRP. We will have dealer pricing that's coming out very, very shortly. So we're just wrapping that up right now. But the 8570, the P series, will be $64.45. The T series version is $69.45 MSRP. Our ship date right now is November 1. So that should be the first customer ship according to our schedule at this point for both P and T. And that's going to be the 44-inch model that's going to be shipping first. So the 44 will be coming out in November, and then the rest of the models, the 2436, the L versions, most of those will be coming out the beginning of next year,
Right.
if not a little bit sooner. So that's the timing on everything. And if you go to ProFocus, profocus.epson.com, we have the materials built for the 44, and all of that stuff is up live on ProFocus at this time. So you'll be able to find spec sheets, you'll be able to find photography, you'll be able to find setup sheets. All those different things for this new platform are available right now on ProFocus, at least for the 44-inch. Over the next 30 to 45 days, the 24, 36, the L version products, we're going to have a lot more information coming onto ProFocus for those products as well. So be sure to check back to get some more information on those things. But definitely log in today and get the information on the 44 if you haven't already.
Yeah, including our sales resource guide, which a lot of the slides that you see today, we've either, sometimes we modify them a little bit depending on what we're doing, but there's a separate P and a separate T SRG when you go to the ProFocus website. So it's listed right in there. So take a look as a PDF, and if you want to remember any of the information today.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
All right.
You know what? Thank you very much. We're really glad that you attended today, and we hope you gained some knowledge, and we hope you go to ProFocus to check out some more details about this new product, and we're very excited to share it with you. So thank you.